Be unique.
Yeah, we in here. Say it again.
Be unique.
Hey, are you ready now? Let's go.
Be unique.
Let's start the show.
Be unique.
What is up, you guys? Thank you for coming back. This is another episode of the Be Unique podcast. Before we start anything, please stop what you're doing, like, comment, and subscribe. We got to get those subscribers up. Y'all loving the episodes. Y'all giving me all the feedback. Now I need y'all help. Press that subscribe button. Make sure your notifications are on so you know when every episode is coming up, because the guests just keep getting better and better and better and better. And speaking of the guests, y'all wouldn't. I got somebody special today. Somebody that is he's the reason why I'm here today.
The best guest. Yes, the best guest.
He's already. I didn't even introduce him yet. But you guys, I have my dad, my twin here.
Yes, I'm
First
here.
of all, you have to start off by doing fun fact, my dad, the voice that you hear, the be unique, we here. That's my dad, y'all.
Be unique.
I hit him up one day and I was like, Dad, I need a theme song. And at first you just sent me the instrumental. And then I was like, let me pick the best one, and I sent you back, and I thought it was just gonna be instrumental, that's all, and you know, that's just what it's gonna be. And then you send it back and it's like, be unique. I said, wait a minute. I didn't know you was gonna add all of that, but now everybody is hearing your voice behind the mic. How you feel about that?
I just want to hook you up and have you have a nice opening to your podcast. So.
I think so many people has been like, oh my God, I love your theme song and blah, blah, blah. And then when I posted that you were the voice behind it, people really couldn't believe, like, your dad made your theme song. Yeah, that's the benefits of having an artist as a dad. You get those benefits. But Dad, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, no problem.
I mean, I told you months before, like, you're going to be on a podcast, so please govern yourself and come and meet with us and see us. I'm excited for you to be here today.
I'm glad to be here, and I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Look, what else? You proud of me? What else?
You saw it, you visioned it, you followed through with it, and you made it happen.
Guys, my dad was probably the first person I called and was like, I have this idea. It's really been on my mind. I really want to do a podcast. And what was the first thing you said? Do it.
Do it.
He said, do it. And
You
I
got
said,
the vision, go for it.
yeah. He's just always been one of my biggest, like, supporters, always behind everything that I do. Like, you know, if you have a dream, I want you guys to follow your dreams. I want you to go out there. Don't let nobody stop you. So here we are, unstoppable.
Yes, you got to do it while you're young, while you can do it.
See, and I'm still young. He's still
Very
young too. He's still, just like I said with my mom. Y'all see the genes? The genes are giving. The genes are giving. He has a good haircut. Look at my dad. Y'all, happy Father's Day.
Indeed.
So, with it being Father's Day, I wanted to bring you on so people can know more about you. I know they see you when you're playing, you know, the drums, or you teaching music, but I think they need to know a little bit more about your life, where you grew up. So let's just start all the way from the beginning. Lil Mike, where are we? How was he? What were you into? What was you listening to? Take us back.
Well, I was born in Houston, Texas.
Hey, Texas, big Texas.
Texas boy, but my parents moved to California when I was 3. Started there, really. My dad said on the way driving to California, I was constantly beating on the seat. And by the time he got to California, I had torn up the seat cushion
Oh, my
of
God.
the back seat. It was gone. It was down to the phone by the He said my mom asked him, why you let him just tear up the seat like that? It was keeping him occupied, so I just let him
Just let him tear it up.
Just go and tear it up. So it started there, and then my mom said I've just always beaten on stuff. And then when I grew up in L.A., when I was about 6, my dad bought me a drum set. That's where I kind of I was beating on everything. We gotta get this boy some drums. So
Mm. So the drums was the first thing you played.
yeah,
from
that was the
beginning.
first thing I played. We went to a pawn shop. I can remember it like it was yesterday. Went to a pawn shop and it was a like a sparkle red drum set sitting in the window. I was like, that's it, that's it. It was only like a little 4-piece jazz set.
Mm.
I didn't know no better. I was like, that's it. It looks so good and all this. So he bought it for me, and then I started there
Mm.
with that. Um, so I grew up in the LA area. Then maybe when I was 12, we moved to Pasadena, and then was in Pasadena from 12 on to when I moved out of my parents' house.
Mm.
So
And how old were you when you moved out?
21.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you moved out really young.
yeah.
Nowadays we can't move out at 21. It's too high. It's too high. But before that, when you were in school, my pawpaw, which is your dad,
Mhm.
he was one of the band teachers in high school at Centennial High School. So how was that having one of your teachers as your dad?
Well, I loved it because I was at Pasadena High School in the 10th grade, because back then it was 10th, 11th, and 12th in high school.
Mm.
So I went to Pasadena High School for my 9th grade year, and I was in the band there, and it was chorus style. So that's a whole different style of marching, music, everything. And then he's out in Compton, and they doing like the HBU style, the Southern style. So it was eating me up. I'm out here with these white folks. I'm on a groove.
Military.
So I was begging my mother, please, mom, let me go to Centennial with dad. She was like, no. My 10th grade year, she was like, no, it's too dangerous. Because back then it was all the gangs and everything, drugs, everything going on like out there it was crazy.
Compton.
Yeah, yeah. So I was kept begging her that she finally let me go to Centennial. And then that's where me and my dad's connection was with the music and everything. So I was happy to be out there. I didn't care who's shooting, who was fighting,
You
long
can
as
shoot
I
up
could
all
be
you want.
a
Just let
part of
me
the
play
band.
my
Let me play
drum.
my drum. You know what I mean? So yeah. So and just he was just like my musical hero. So
I was gonna ask that. So you kind of grew up in a music household because
Yeah.
my grandma was a singer, and then my grandfather played the trumpet and everything. So how was that growing up in the music? Like how many siblings you have? Did y'all all have some type of music bug or?
well, my mother, she was a singer, as you said, but she did a lot. She had a record contract on Sam Cooke's label. Sam Cooke is a great R&B artist from back in the '70s. So she was with him. She toured on Broadway with The Wiz and all type of stuff. So she was very talented in her own right. Then my father, he was just like I used to call him the Quincy Jones of the ghetto because he knew how to play every instrument.
Everything.
Every instrument there was to be played, he could play it, and his arranging skills were great. He was always conducting orchestras and excuse me, orchestras. It just great talent. He was just a great talent. I looked up to him so much. He taught me a lot with the music. For his siblings, it was 5 boys all together and 1 girl. I had an older brother that sung, and that's how he played the little keyboards. That's how I got into the keyboards, was him. He taught me a song on, I don't remember the name of the song, but he taught me my first song on piano. It was very simple, and that's when I gravitated towards the piano, playing that. I forgot the rest of your question. What was the rest of the question?
No, like growing up in a music household, you were talking about. I was saying, did anybody else have a music bug, or were you like the main one? Like music is
It was
by.
just my older brother. He sung in church and in different groups and stuff like that. I had a younger brother, Andrew, that was really into music. He kind of followed in my dad's footsteps, but unfortunately he passed away in 2008. So, but he was into music as well. But beyond that, the other ones wasn't really into music like that.
Yeah, Uncle Andrew, he was serious when the band was playing. He had his uniform. I just remember being little and he was just in the front, just directing everybody, making sure
Yep.
everybody was in line, making sure everybody was doing what they were supposed to do. I have so many memories in my mind from that. Just
Yeah.
him doing, um, just him being present and everybody loving him, loving you. But just from going, okay, you were in a music household and then you played in school. So did you ever aspire to go beyond that, like to be like a touring musician or anything like that?
Well, I first want to be. Well, the drums is always going to be my first love.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my comfort zone, being behind the drums, playing all the time. I used to practice and play every day, and playing at church. I started playing church because my dad was the men's chorus director. Every church we went to, he was the men. Once they found out he could play, oh, we want to put you over the men's chorus, and he would always do it. So he was like, "Come on, Mike, get on the drums." So I always started there, and then when we found out I can play, then I ended up playing for everybody, for the
Did
adult
that come
choir, the children's choir, everybody.
But
So
did that come with like some pressure a little bit? Like when he was teaching you in school and teaching the other students, like did he always expect you to be the one that's kind of like in the leadership position to teach others, and that's how you ended up being over the drums and teaching and things like that?
well, he never pressured me when I was a kid. You know, he just let everything happen naturally for me. You know, he just guided me for as reading, song structure, stuff like that. But as far as me, knew I had the natural talent, the God given talent to play. He really didn't want to mess with, tarnish that much. So I always asked him, why you didn't give me lessons like, like these days kids is growing up with lessons and all that. He said, well, I didn't want to destroy what God gave you. God gave you such a great talent. I didn't want to tamper with that. So he just left me alone. He just taught me the ins and outs of how to play. He really was on me about, because nowadays I be on drummers a lot because they call it chopping. So it's like they soloing through the whole song instead of picking their spots in the song. He was always on me, keep the pocket, keep the time, keep the pocket. And I'm always I want to go crazy, He was always frustrating me with that, always just trying to keep me where I needed to be. And I really didn't understand until I got older and started playing with other people. And they were like, man, your pocket is so solid. And they kept calling me back, calling me back, calling me back. So I was like, he was right.
He knew what he was talking about. Huh? But
Yeah.
you also played the tuba too. So
Yeah, I did
he
that.
made sure that, like, did he say, oh, okay, it's important for you to know both, or did you want to play?
I got into bass lines. I always been intrigued by bass lines. If I wouldn't have been a drummer, I probably would have been a bass player.
I love the bass. I love the bass. Like, I feel like the drums and the bass just make the entire thing what it is.
Yeah, I got into the bass lines real early at a young age. So he was like, well, you like bass lines. You need to learn how to play the tuba, and then that'll help you, when you start want to do other things, that'll help you understand bass lines more. So he put me on the tuba, and I loved it because I love bass lines. So that's how I ended up playing tuba.
Okay, so for musicians or starting musicians out there, do you think that it's important that they take the time to learn music, like how to read music, how to write music? Is it beneficial to learning that skill?
All depends on what your goal is. If your goal is to be like exceptional musician and not be one dimensional, of what kind of calls you can take. You can take all the gigs that somebody's going to send you, and it doesn't require reading, but if it requires you to read charts, then you can read charts too. So that's the benefits of it. A lot of the people that are on these award shows and stuff on big time, really doing it big, they have to have some type of reading skill. Now, you don't have to be exceptional, but you have to read some. So I do encourage musicians to do it if they want to be on that scale. Now, if you just want to be with your clique, have your clique of homies that you play with, and they going to call you every time they got something, and you doing the same with them, and then y'all just working it like that, then it can be successful that way too. But you still have to, in my opinion, it's better to be well diverse in your craft. You know.
Did you ever want to play sports like or do anything outside of
Oh
music in
man,
school?
basketball. You
You
know
always play
basketball.
basketball. So
You
what
know
happened with that?
basketball was it. I used to play basketball. If I wasn't drumming, I was playing basketball. I was at
Mm.
local park, school up the street. When I'm at school playing basketball, but the love was always drums. I got in high school. I played on the Frost Shops team um, there, and then when I got to Centennial, um, I'll be at basketball practice,
Mhm.
and then next thing you know, the band is coming around, and I'm hearing the drums, and I'm like,
Mm.
oh no, I can't.
You gonna drop the
I got
ball
that.
and just run out
I'm
and
like,
go.
no, I was just say, basketball be always be my second love, but
Mm.
I got to be with that music, so
Yeah.
that's
So
what happened with that.
so when
Mm.
did you know that you were unique or you had a skill or just a talent that was different from everybody else, or when you felt like I had to take this more seriously?
Well, I never thought I had to take it really seriously because, like I said, it was a God. When it's God given gift, it comes easy to you. So anytime I played or whatever, like it was one time I can remember. My father had a gig with a artist named Ray Parker Jr. back in the day. He took me with him. They had a break, and this was like for some show they was doing at the Palladium in Hollywood. Um, they had a break, so I went to tap the drummer on the shoulder. I said, "Can I, go play your drums or whatever?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's cool." So he think I'm just gonna go up here and just tap
Mm.
around. And it was mic'd
You
up and
went
everything. It was mic'd up and everything. So I go up here and just start ripping, right? So he like, "Dang, you really got talent." And all the musicians was like, "Man, you gonna be a great drummer," and this, that, and the third, just compliment me and everything. That's when it kind of clicked for me that I had something.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then it was another time. My father was the music director for Barry White, so drummer was late.
Mm.
And by me being at home, listening to all the music with him, writing and producing for Barry, um, I was able to hear all the songs, all the arrangement, me going to rehearsal with him all the time. I knew all the breaks, all the everything, the structure of the song.
Mm.
So he was late one time, and Barry came in there one time because he rarely came to rehearsal. We used to rehearse in his theater in his house,
Mm.
and he came in there, and the drummer was late, so they want to start rehearsal. So Dad was like, "Get on the drums." They looking at me like, "This kid don't know."
Were you nervous or were you like,
Nah,
this is
he
my
was
moment.
like-
I'm about to go up there and I'm about to take somebody's job.
Like I said, it comes natural to you when
Mhm.
it's just like,
Stay ready, you don't gotta get ready.
yeah. So then when he started, I played the whole song and was hitting everything and hitting the ending and everything
Mhm.
like that. He was like, he said, "How old are you?" I was like 12. He was like, "What?"
12.
He was like, well, let me know when you get 18. So
Mm. So was that your first, kind of like your first
I'm like
gig?
person that big to tell me that
Mm.
I'm on the right track. That's when I
Yeah.
knew, okay, I really got to buckle down and concentrate and
Mhm. So
really
that was
work on it.
12. And then, so did you hit him back up when you were 18? Did he reach back out to you?
Well, Barry was almost like a goddad to me.
Mm.
Um, by me going, that's how I really got into the production side. Was he was having my dad was doing a string session with him in Hollywood, and he took me with him again, and that's when I got my first experience with the studio. I'm going in, I'm seeing all these knobs and everything, and them micing the strings up and all. I was like, oh, this where it's at right here. So I was really intrigued about that, and he actually bought me my first drum machine when I was like 14 or something like that. He had bought I think it was a Leases HR16 or something like that. That was the name of it.
Mm.
And we went up there, and he was working on something, and I saw it. He was like, "Man, you like this drum machine?" He was showing me different stuff. I was like, "Yeah, it's cool." So next time, I didn't think nothing of it. Next time we went up there, he had one fresh in the box for me.
Mm.
Then he had, back then, the best keyboard back then was like a Yamaha DX7. And if you had a DX7, you was just like the
You were
man.
that guy.
You was like the man. So
Mhm.
he had a silver one, and it had gold buttons. And I'm looking at this keyboard like, man, that's
Mm.
tight,
Mm.
So Uh, I my dad saw he had like a little Casio at home, so I was always back then you didn't have no 4 tracks or nothing like that. All you had, my mom bought me a boom box, and you had to put a cassette on one side, put another cassette on the other side, you record on one side, and play on the other side. So
It's a lot happening.
where you can build a song, you have to keep switching the tapes back and forth. So I was doing that with a Casio, and then with the drum machine that he gave me. That's where my writing journey started with music, just putting little tracks together. Then when my dad saw I was serious with that, then that's when he got me a keyboard. But I'm thinking he just gonna get me a little something to start with. He took me to Guitar Center and bought me a DX7. But the DX7, come to find out, Barry just called Guitar Center and say they coming to pick it up.
Wow.
So I got a DX7 fresh out the box.
And all of a sudden, you that guy. See? All
Fresh
of a
out the
sudden.
box. Fresh
See.
out the box. So I'm really thankful for the experience I had with him.
So you continue to
like
tour and things like that with him?
Well, when I got 18, he was like, "You ready?"
Mm.
I'm like, "Ready for what?" He said, "You ready to go on the road?"
Mm.
I'm like, "Yeah." Like, what you think of? Am I ready? Yeah, he was like, "You ready to go?" And he was serious, and that's when I started. But yeah, I'm really grateful for that experience.
Yes. So you were 18 at that. Oh,
Yeah.
21. 18.
18.
Okay. And how long did that go on?
I stayed till with Barry's from '89 to 1996.
Oh, so you was with him for some years.
Yeah, about 7 years.
Because he passed in, I don't remember what.
03, I think, something like that.
Okay.
It was
But-
early 2000s when he passed.
And that was the only, did you work with anyone else at that time, or it was just him?
Oh yeah, I did Mickey Howard for a little bit, and then it was a couple of, they really wasn't known artists, but locally around town. Then I was studying church, playing all the time, and then you guys started coming along.
Yeah. And that's where I don't want to say we interrupted things, but
Yeah, I had to take a
I'll say
little
around-
detour,
yeah, around that time,
responsibilities start to set in.
That's why I was like, so that time. So how old were you when you became a father the first time?
I was 21 when I became a father.
Okay,
With
21.
L'Oreal, yeah.
So how was
And
that?
that was she was born in '93. So that was during the time I was on the road with Barry. Then I got with your mom. After that, me and her mom me and L'Oreal's mom broke up. And then I got with your mom maybe a couple of years later. And
But how
that's
was
when,
so when you found out that you were gonna be a dad for the first time? Like how did that feel? Because that's still like young, 21, just off a tour. And it's like, oh, I'm about to become a dad. So
you never prepared for it. It's always a shock, disbelief, but at the end of the day, I was raised to take care of my responsibilities. So I knew right off top, well, this is what I did. So I'm gonna have to do what I have to do to take care of it. So that's when it kind of started settling in for me to start making some changes and making some better decisions. Then not too far after that, 3 years later, you come. So I'm like, wow.
another girl.
I'm like, wow,
You're a father of 5 girls.
Yeah.
The ultimate girl dad. No boys, no
boy.
nothing.
I got
All
all of y'all
girls.
trying for the boy.
See, and it never came. But before it was girl dad or everyone talking about girl dad. Well, when you and mom had first got together, mom had a daughter as well.
Yes.
So how was that coming together, or just because I feel like now this is a kind of off subject, but I feel like now there's like dudes out there that's like, oh, I have never talking to a woman that have like kids and blah blah blah. Like, what's your take on, like, how did you take that on, or just was like, I love this woman, so I love her child, or what would be your advice for blending that family?
Well, by me and your mom going to high school together, she always used to bring Shaniqua with her because she was over the cheerleading squad, and I would always see Shaniqua all the time. So, and we wasn't dating then, we wasn't even talking then, and then maybe one homecoming she came, Shaniqua was with her, and we kind of just started talking. Then on the way out of the game we were at, I had Shaniqua in my arms because I told you back then it was crazy.
Mm.
So they started fighting and stuff at the game, and we walking back to the band room, and it's helicopters flying over and people out here fighting and all that going on, right? So I have Shaniqua, and she holding me tight, and I mean that's when our connection kind of was born, was right there, because she was holding me tight. I'm like, oh man, I really kind of like the feeling of this right here, and so, and then we went to dinner. Me and mom went to dinner after that. We sat and talked, and I was vibing with Shaniqua, and then after that it was like, to me it was a no-brainer. I liked your mom, and I liked Shaniqua, so it wasn't
So you kind of
really hard for
bonded
me.
with Shaniqua a little bit and made you bond more with mom at the time.
Yeah.
Which is like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, as far as guys talking to women that have children or they would never do it, it depends on the woman.
Mm.
If you really like the woman and you really see the genuine qualities in her that'll be effective for your life, then you automatically have to take the kid on. That's a part of the package, and it's just not your responsibility to vibe with the mom. It's your responsibility to vibe with the kid too. So um, I think it's just all up to how you feel about the woman. If you really like this woman and you feel she's the one and she can't beat the one, then I see nothing wrong with it. And if you're a real man and you're not worried about, the kid. Now, if I can see if it's 5, 6 kids, then you got whoa.
It's a lot going on. We're gonna have to
wait a minute.
have a
I'm really gonna
conversation.
have to ponder this
It's-
situation. You know what I'm saying?
I have to like you a lot, a whole lot.
You got to think about. You got to think. Hey, thinking about rent. You thinking about grocery. Thinking about helping raise all these kids. So that's a little more responsibility. But if you got one, maybe two, then I think it's very feasible.
So what? Because this is a Father's Day episode. So if you could speak to young fathers, new fathers that's going into fatherhood, what advice would you give them going into fatherhood? Like you said, you had to make a lot of changes. You went from just like touring and being on your own, and now you have these responsibilities. And I don't know if it's just having girls. I just think with children in general, like you ought to all of a sudden, like, I have to protect this. I have to be a leader. I have to, be the person that my daughters or my sons look up to. Like people are looking, it's someone that's looking at you in a different way, like looking for you for protection, looking for you to lead your family or your children. Like what? So I think that would be a hard transition with having responsibilities. So what advice would you give new fathers going into it?
Well, I say with just going into it, you can't be. It's no handbook. It's no book about parenting that you can read that can prepare you for being a parent. It's all really about trial and error. With me I had a father that was in my life, but he had to work all the time. So it was a thing where um, our time together, we didn't have that time together as father and son where we could bond and have that father and son relationship. So I kind of resented that for a long time, not knowing, he got to provide for his family. So he got to do the best that he can to do that. So if that has to be working 16 hours a day or being on the road for how many odd months and I'm not seeing him and all that, then I didn't understand that then. So my goal was to be a father that was present, that was always there. So when I started having you guys, that was my main priority, was to be present in y'all's life, because I felt that, yeah, it's great to be a provider, but you have to have be present as well. Being present is so vital, because you miss out on all of that. That's not, I mean, yeah, you got to balance being present and providing, So that was my main concern. So I'd say to any parent, anybody that's starting out as a father, your main goal, yeah, you want to provide for your children. Yeah, but you have to be present. That's my thing. Be present. Do all the small things. Picking them up from school, taking them to the games. Whatever activities they in. Doing your part of being present as a parent. I think that's the advice I would give to any new dad, is to be present and be there and do your part in the situation, the parenting.
Yeah, that's good advice because I can't remember a time where you or mom wasn't like there for us, and if y'all wasn't there, one was there, or the other one was there. So that definitely is something that kids remember growing up. Like you guys or your parents, whether you have a dad or you don't have a dad, or your mom or whatever parent figure you have, you look for them when you're doing whatever you're doing. Because I think that at the end of the day, as kids or as your kids, everything that we do is we're trying to please our parents and our family and anybody that's in our lives. Like you guys are the first. I know when I do things, I'm thinking about my parents. I'm thinking about, just everybody that I love, and of course God as well. But I think our parents are right behind that. Like we just ultimately want to make our parents proud of how they raised us, how we live our lives, how we treat other people. So what legacy? Because I know we can't take your last name now. A lot of us are, a lot of us are older and married now. That's the one thing about having all daughters. We all of our last names are changing. Like, can you believe that you a grandpa? All your kids are getting married too. But what would be the thing that you always wanted to leave behind? Like if you was to leave, God forbid, leave today, what lessons or what values did you want to make sure that your daughters or your kids um, learn from you, or to always remember? What legacy did you want to leave behind for your kids?
Well, my main, well, with you guys, it was you guys having a relationship with the Lord, being strong women, being productive citizens in life, and being able to be strong and follow your dreams, and know that nothing can stop you if you put in the work and the effort. Um, and I think my biggest fear, or not biggest fear, but I never want you guys to grow up and say that my dad wasn't there for me, or he wasn't there, or he didn't do, he wasn't involved. So I think I've done
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Like
So
I said with mom as well. Like even, um, and I want to talk about this as well as I did with her when you guys had told us that okay, like that you guys were gonna get a divorce
hmm
and everything like that. That was it was hard for us, but we also knew um, that something was about to change, or we can tell that with our parents that you know, we almost was like, we rather y'all be apart. It wasn't any arguing. It wasn't any like things happening like that. But we just know our parents. So I know from our perspective, we knew that our parents loved us, but I think most importantly, we wanted our parents to be happy. But how was that experience? Being married after 20 years, raising your kids together and everything, and then having to tell your children that you had to get a divorce.
uh, beyond my mother passing, when I was, well, she passed in 2000. I'd say the divorce was the second hardest thing I had to endure in my lifetime. That was tough. That was really a rough time for me and your mother. But within that, I always said that I knew it was going to be hurtful for you guys to see us not be together, But my main thing was to still be present. So I knew that was a worry for you guys, and what was going to happen. With that, were you gonna be able to see me? This, that, and the third. And your mom was real good. I'll give her credit on that part of making sure that you guys stayed, you know, um, in touch with me and spend time with me in that. So I give her a lot of credit for that because a lot of that can go a totally different way. No, you can't see them, and it can go really, really bad. And my main concern with that was making it close to you guys. I don't care where you guys. If you were in Compton, I was gonna be close. Long Beach. If y'all was in Long Beach, I was in Downey. So it was like wherever you guys moved, I was right in the vicinity where I can still take y'all to school and do everything I need to do. So you guys became my lifeline after divorce because that was really hard for me going through that. So you guys became my lifeline, and you guys helped me actually get through that process of divorce and going through that where I can pick my life up again and start trying to figure out what I want to do moving forward. But having you guys there and just still having that day-to-day responsibility of making sure y'all was good, taken care of, and you got where you need to go, and having the things that you need, and helping her with you guys was still important to me, no matter what me and her were going through. And I'm grateful for that as well. Having her, we were able to. We had our moments. Now I can't lie and say it was just easy selling. But at the end of the day, when the dust settles, it's like y'all were the main concern. And I say for anybody that's going through divorce or going through that situation, always make the kids the main priority because that's where. Don't use the kids against each other and saying, you can't see them or you can't do this, that, and all that's doing is hurting the kids. So the main thing I think in a divorce is make sure the kids are straight. Keep them straight mentally, knowing that you still gonna be there. You're not going anywhere. So that was important.
Yeah. And as I told mom, I think you guys did a really good job because even though we had to go back and forth, like spend time with you and spend time with her, I think we still knew that our parents loved us. We still knew that, like, we still had fun. It didn't feel like, oh my God, I have to go to my dad's house, or oh my God, I have to go to my mom's house. I think we equally enjoyed spending time with you both and seeing that you guys had a healthy relationship as well, for us. And I think being older, I just really just think that you guys, I know it's like with divorce is not a real thing to say. Y'all did a good job with that, but it's like you guys, it wasn't just like traumatic for us. It was just like we just want our parents to be happy at the end of the day. And I think moving forward, like throughout those couple of years, because it's different. Guys, I don't want to put my dad on blast, but we're gonna have to a little bit. See him as a single man, very interesting.
Oh my God!
When we
Here we
left
go.
my mom's house and you go to
Here
my
we
dad's
go.
house, my mom, she cooked all the meals and everything like that. So going to my dad's house, there was nothing in the refrigerator. We had to go grocery shopping every single time, or it was pizza. Shout out to Little Caesars.
Little
Sponsored this video for my dad because it was Little Caesars, and it was pizza or wings. But I said, Dad, I understand, but we have to get some cooking skills going on in here.
Did you eat?
Because we ate,
Okay,
but
you
we
ate
had
that, okay.
to. But it was like, what are you eating when we're not here? That was the concern. I was like, okay, so are you dating? Are you talking to anybody? Because it was like, what are you doing when we're not here? Is what going on. And then when you met your new wife, so you got remarried.
Yes.
And with Miss Kim, shout out to Miss Kim. We love Miss Kim. What lessons did you take moving from your first marriage that you took into your second marriage with Miss Kim?
Oh, a lot. I mean, you learn. You really learn. You learn from your mistakes, and every situation is different. You
Mm.
know, you guys are older, um, so the dynamic of marriage now is totally different than it was when you guys were younger.
Mm.
You know, it's definitely a difference, and you learn from your mistakes from the first time, but the circumstances like really totally different from each other. Um, Marriage is totally different when you trying to raise you young, you trying to raise kids and maintain everything, opposed to being later in life and not having that responsibility. Parenting never stops, but it's not like it is when you have younger kids opposed to adult kids. So um, you learn the different things within the relationship that you probably did didn't do the right way the first time, and try to correct those things within the relationship the second time. So I did learn, the do's and the not do's, and what to do to be proactive,
Mm.
to not have things go bad, because being proactive is really a major thing in marriage. Try to prevent things before they even happen.
Mm.
So if you was dating before you got married, you still got to date after you married.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't stop doing the things that
Mm.
you were doing when you first started courting. Oh, it's all lovely dovely. Dovey then,
Lovely-dovely.
everything's all good. We all starry eyed and everything, and
Mm.
everything is great. But once you get like 5, 6 years in that thing, then it's like some people fall off. But you got to stay consistent, and I learned that from my first marriage. You got to stay consistent in a relationship. You got to do all the things that you were doing when you met them, when you were courting them, and the same thing with marriage. You got to stay consistent with that.
Yeah.
If you were buying flowers before you got married, still do the same thing when you married.
Amen.
If you was taking her out before you got married,
Keep taking her out.
keep taking her out. It's just about the consistency through it all. If you were working, if you were grinding,
Mm.
before you got married, you can't get married and then slack off and say, I'm just going to kick it or whatever, and
Mm.
not worry about it, and let the lights start getting cut off and stuff like that. You got to stay consistent. So
Don't
marriage
let the
is,
lights cut off.
oh man.
Jesus.
If I told you the whole story,
Oh, no.
me and your mom down there, we went through a lot.
Mm.
We went through a lot together, and and we couldn't, sustain it through that. But
Mm.
uh, I'm thankful for the experience. I'm thankful for her. She was a great mother to you guys. I couldn't ask for a better mother for you guys. So some things are just don't work out.
Yeah.
So, but I still respect her to the fullest.
Yeah.
She's a great woman.
And that's why I said I shout out to my parents, because I just would not ask God for different parents. I think you guys are great, and I just want the world to hear what you guys have to say about your lives, because I think outside of being our parents, you guys are great people. Getting older, you really just see your parents in a different way. Just everything that we went through growing up and who we are now, I see a lot of why I am how I am today because of my parents. I think growing up, you're just like, okay, you kind of analyzing like all that you've been through your life, and you like, well, because my dad did this or my mom did that, but at the end of the day, our parents are still human, and you guys make your mistakes just like how we make our mistakes. And as we get older, if you don't have a relationship with your dad and your dad is still here, or you have those questions, or you may not have grew up with your dad like how I had my dad, but always restore that relationship. If your dad is still out there, still restore that relationship with your parents, because it definitely will help you in your adult life. It definitely will bless you in your adult life, because now going through what I'm going through in life, I'm like, I don't know how my parents did it. 5 kids? No. Not in this economy. Like, I want kids and everything, but I'm just like, man, I couldn't imagine just having to pick up school. I had to be in school like mom, or having to teach kids and stuff like you were doing, and go to work and go to a second job. So I just think that you guys did a great job with raising us.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate it.
with that, how did music, you started doing your music again now. You came out with an album, came out with a video not too long ago, which I looked the other day. You had 25,000 views on your video. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you wouldn't even know.
I check it
I'm like,
periodically.
Dad, you have 25,000. Like, I have like 100.
And
Who knew you were the
album,
famous one?
Last time I checked, it sold like over 70,000 copies. So that's pretty good for an artist.
I mean,
That's
he just said that
unknown.
so chill. So if you haven't watched Thank You by Michael Roberts, I'm gonna put it in the description below. Make sure you shout out to y'all, go watch that. But now where you are after, raising your kids and getting remarried and all of that, like what now? I feel like you're going back into your love for music. Or did that ever leave? Or did you feel like, okay, now I can do what I really wanted to do, go back to my music?
Well,
How
it's
are
the
you
thing.
now?
It's the thing where you go through that phase. When you get a certain age, you go through that phase. Well, am I too old now? Music has changed. Music's not the same anymore, and it's like, I'm gonna put something out and ain't nobody gonna buy it because I got a certain mentality when it comes to music and where it's supposed to sound. I'm still used to arrangements and bridges and stuff and that stuff, and nobody's really doing that no more. Everybody's just a loop and put some words over it,
Yep,
and there
a
you
loop
go.
and a doop, a loop and a doop.
It's nothing
what-
behind it, but I say you and my wife now, y'all kind of inspired me to. You like, Dad, you're not too old. Put your music out. You're not too old. Gotta go for it. So that put it back on my mind. And then she actually, I'll say in our second year, I let her hear some stuff I had did a long time ago. She's like, why you stop? I'm like, when I explained it to her and everything, and she was like, nah, you got too much talent still to just be sitting on it, So I wasn't even expecting it. She had like, what you need, this, that, and the third. So she helped me get my iMac computer. She helped me get the program that I need to get started. So I'm like, well, dang, if she gonna set me up, I just can't let it go to waste and not use it. So that's kind of got me back in motion of wanting to write again and start working on music again. So yeah, definitely I'm gonna be putting out some more stuff in the future because I've gotten back to I have more time now, but it's still a thing about it. And then when I put stuff out and you see how the streaming rates are, you like, what am I doing this for? What am I putting out music for? Which I feel that part really has to change. Got to be some change with that. I can understand why artists now is just touring. Everybody's touring because that's the only way they can really make money. You can't put no music out. Even if you selling 2 million copies, you only making what? 7,000 from that,
which is crazy.
And where's the rest of the money going? So it's like just a whole bunch of stuff like that. Part of it can discourage you from putting out music. You know what I mean? Because it's like it takes more to make music than what you're going to get back from it. So even if you have your own studio, your own equipment and everything, it's still a process. It's a lot of time and effort that goes into putting a project out. That's why people's only putting singles out and people are not really taking the craft seriously anymore because it's like you're not gonna make no money off of it. So let's just put something out just to put something out. Nobody's taking time not to really make quality work anymore. So that's a disappointment in it as well. But I know it's still an avenue of people to still out there that's young.
I think it's slowly coming back. I think people are starting to, since it's so much like trash music, I should say, I can't say any other way. It's no like feeling in the music anymore, and I think that people are wanting like the R&Bs and the neo souls and the soul music to come back because you like people are just putting out just something that's just like catchy and that you can put on TikTok and that you can put on your Instagram videos. But I think people are slowly going back to real music.
But people have to support it though. You
Yeah.
know, it's easy for people to say, "Oh, I miss the way music is supposed to be." Then somebody put some music out, and they not buying it. They
Mhm.
not downloading it. You know, we going on YouTube or whatever and just watching it or getting it for free. You know, not really supporting the music. So how are you going to get more of that if you're not supporting it when it comes out?
Mhm.
You know, so it's like a lot of things have to change, and the way the music is being distributed to people. You know, like people my age that be asking me, how do I download music? You know, where do I go to get it? Okay, I send you the link to go get it, but they don't even know how to
Mhm.
download it. They got to give it to the grandson or
Yeah.
the daughter or somebody to download the music. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a lot of things that's a part of the process of wanting to continue and put out music.
Mhm.
I mean, right now I'm kind of in the position of okay, I'm just gonna put it out because it's what I love to do, and whoever buys it buys it. Whoever
Yeah.
is accepted, love it.
Yeah.
Cool. Whoever don't, if it's never heard,
Mhm.
just let the chips
Just
fall
gotta
where they
put
may.
it,
You know.
because it just take that one video and that's what I definitely got from you. How you said that me and Miss Kim helped you to kind of push it out, because I just feel like with the internet, like you said, you just gotta put it out. You just gotta put it out. I think that's the hardest part with just putting it out, and you never know who's gonna see it, who's gonna view it on YouTube, and then they share it and they get millions of views. You just never know. I feel like you can't put an age on that. So that's why I was like, Dad, you got to put it out. You got to put it out. Now you got thousands and all these streams and stuff on your. So shout out to me. For
Yeah,
that's
shout
why
out
I'm
to
like,
you.
no,
Shout out to you.
I'm just joking.
You deserve a
But
shout
it's
out
just
for
because
that.
you always encourage us, and I think that now we, like I said with Mom, we have to. It's like when we get older, our parents become not like our children, but it's like we are now pushing you guys to live your lives, and to it's never too late to do your dreams, because we always seen your love for music. When we would be asleep, you would be in the garage just going over your beats, making your songs and all of that. And I'm like, Dad, it can all stay in the computer. Everybody else gotta listen to it, and everybody gotta and if people don't like it, they don't like it. But I'm so happy you put it out, because now I hope that you see that people do like the music and people yearn for real music, and it doesn't matter what the age is. The sky is the sky is the limit. That's something that you taught me, that I wanted you to know about yourself. Like, you telling me to follow my dreams, but we can both follow our dreams, and we can both do that. It's never too late.
Right.
So
Right.
that that's the episode, guys.
That
Or
went
what's
quick.
yeah, it went by really quick. It's just I can go on and on and on with my dad. But so what is new? So you have new music coming out soon, or this year, or next year, or when the next
Well-
video, when the next thank you for loving me and like I need that loyalty.
Well, I'm shooting for this year. People like that song, and I did another remake on the project I did of Alexander O'Neal's Sunshine.
Mm,
People like, oh, you need to sing more. You need to sing more. So everybody's wanting me to sing more. So
mhm.
I decided I was going to do an R&B project. So
Yes.
I'm gonna do that and put it out.
That makes me think about, guys. I was in a talent show, and it was a small intermission. I wanted to say this story before we end it, because I think that's when I was like, why is this man not putting out any music? It was an intermission, and the person that was hosting, they went out and said, who has talent in the audience, and blah blah blah. And all of a sudden I hear this man singing Ribbon in the Sky by Stevie Wonder,
I
and then
forgot
everybody's
about that.
running backstage like, oh my God, your dad is out there singing. We didn't know that he knew how to sing, and blah blah. I'm like, one thing about who gave him a mic? So I think that was when I was like, you have to put the music out. You have to do it, because a lot of people don't know sometimes, like, that you can sing and that you have all these talents beyond the drums. So
But before you close, just on that, like I say, the drums was always my love and passion and my comfort zone. Singing never was. You know, I like to sing when I'm creating or writing something, writing a song. But beyond that, I had no desire to really sing in public or church or just anywhere for that fact. So I'm just now getting to time where I'm like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and sing because I got tired of writing for others and doing for others and all this. And I did demos back in the day for writing, and had a couple of people almost pick up songs and this, that, and the third, and they all saying, "Oh, you need to be one singing this, that." But I never had a desire to do it. It's always been about the music for me. So everybody be like, "You had the gift. God gave you the gift. You need to sing." So I'm trying more and more to sing more. And more.
Thank you. We appreciate that. We really appreciate that. And while closing, I do want to shout out to my grandfather. He passed not too long ago. And I think that before he passed, you can tell that he was so proud of you, like how we all are. Like, he was your biggest fan, man. And if my dad left for like 2 seconds, my grandfather's like, "Where's my son? Where's my son?" I'm like, "Excuse me, I am the one here with you." But he loved his son. He loved his son being around. So we know that he left just a big legacy on his family, on us, on you. So with this Father's Day episode, to close out, give us a happy Father's Day. Give us a message for just the fathers all over the world spending this day and everything. If you could just leave anything with them, or just parents all over the world, what's your final message to them this Father's Day?
I say for the men and Father's Day to be strong, keep God first, follow your dreams, work hard, and just keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Stay positive, and do your thing.
Yeah, do your thing. And that I do want to give you your flowers. I know I don't have physical flowers with me.
You
I'm
gave
like,
your mom
no,
flowers.
I'm like, do dudes
You gave
like
your mom flowers.
Do dudes like flowers? Y'all, my dad, no. I'm like, he gonna throw them away. I know my dad. So, but I did want to publicly just tell you that I love you. Thank you for always pushing me to follow my dreams, to even do this, just to always just be better and be just a good person. And you always just instilled in me that the Lord put so many gifts inside of us. Not just me, but all of my sisters. We all have a music bug in all of us. Like, I'm the singer, the dancer, Tutu, she's a DJ, Raven, the rapper. We just all do different things. And I hope that you know that your legacy still lives on through us, and that we love you, and that you did your best, and we appreciate you, and you mean so much to us. Like, y'all, I love my dad. Anybody knows me, I'm a daddy's girl. Daddy's girl, shout out to y'all. They're the best. But I hope that you know that we love and appreciate you. And I thank you for coming on here and talking to us, telling us about you. Let the people know where they can follow you, where they can find your music.
On Instagram, it's at Roberts Touch Music. Same thing on Facebook at Roberts Touch Music. I'm on YouTube, Michael Roberts on YouTube, and that's it. I'll be on TikTok soon. My wife is on like, you need to be on TikTok. You need to be on TikTok.
So I know that I'll be coming over very soon to have a whole tutorial on how to use the social medias. Right. That's what they say. But you guys, I'm so thankful for you guys, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Be Unique Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share with your family, get your dad, your uncle, whoever, and sit down with them and watch this episode. There's so many gems that you can learn. Take that notebook out, get ready for laughs, all of that, and come back next time. I love you guys. Peace out.
Peace out. Be unique.
Be unique.